Yeah, so I saw this on Twitter, but Paul McCartney says final Beatles record in works with AI-assisted John Lennon vocal.
Oh my god.
So I think okay, it's not like a whole record. It's not like they're just like
It's
making an entire album.
Yeah.
That would be insane. They could make him say all sorts of wild shit.
Yeah.
Although nothing more wild than the first song on his live album, Live in New York. Sometime look that one up. The first song on that one, but they are apparently going to. It's like a song. It's like a demo that like they have his vocal, but I guess it's recorded shittily. So they're just going to kind of AI recreate
enhance it or something.
Enhance it. I think the headline is designed in a way to make you think that, to probably get people to click on it and to be outraged and upset, because that seems like something that would like upset an entire fan base of the Beatles fans. Be like, what? AI?
It has. I'm in a lot of Beatles groups, and people are bitching about
the
this.
Discord.
Really?
Yeah, and like, do your research about it, people. They're not reconstructing his voice.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
But I bet they could if they wanted to. They really could.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure they could. Yeah. I was when I first saw your link in the drive, I was like, oh no. But then I read the article and I was like, okay, I'm not like totally against this. I don't hate it.
They basically remastered the recording.
Yeah, and
Right.
it's like, it's not the same as like, recapturing a person's voice who's dead. But a lot of the times in like recording studio environments, I know that like for drums in particular, so many people's drums sound bad that they have their drums set to like, when they hit their kick drum, it triggers like a MIDI sample of a better sounding kick drum.
Whoa.
So a lot of the times when you're listening to a record, you're not even really hearing that person's drum kit. You're hearing like a MIDI trigger sample of a better kick drum.
That's wild.
Everything ties back to the French Connection. It's all
fake.
Tied in.
Nothing is real.
Everything's fake. Yeah.
It's the insert the Bo Burnham "Art is a Lie, Nothing is Real" clip. Like that's.
Yeah, because it's part of when they did the anthology back in the 90s, they kind of did the same thing. Well, they didn't use AI assisted, obviously.
Yeah.
But they like took audio, and I think he had done some instrumental recordings too, but basically incomplete John Lennon songs, and they like recorded 2 new Beatles songs with because the other 3 Beatles were alive at the time, so they released those as like 2 new Beatles songs. And
Interesting.
So they're basically doing that with another one of those tracks, except this one
they're like, we have the technology now.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, yeah, it's okay. If it was just like they had like a tune that John Lennon hummed, and then they're like, we're gonna have like ChatGPT write lyrics as if it was John Lennon, that'd be I'd have more of an issue with that, I think.
Yeah, pretty wild stuff though. I wonder if that's going to open the floodgates to be like, what would Kurt Cobain be writing now?
Yeah.
Or, it's, I feel like there's like a new Jimi Hendrix record every year, and it's like they're eventually going to run dry on
or
that.
Frank Zappa.
Yeah, God. I mean, he wouldn't be that hard to replicate because he talks like this and he's very smarmy. Like you wouldn't. Dude could only sing like an octave max, so it wouldn't be hard to replicate him.
Yeah.
I'm sure the Zappa Family Trust would have some things to say about
yeah, probably. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to There Will Be Duds. This is episode 104, and I am your co-host, TJ, a.k.a. J-Spot Jack Cheese, and with me, as always...
As always, I'm Nick, a.k.a. Dr. Funk on Twitch, and with me, as always...
As always, I'm Tommy, a.k.a. Moose, and as this time, our special guest...
Take it away.
Yeah, kind of left you to do the intro. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right. My name is Cloe Oliver. I'm actually T.J.'s sister-in-law and happen to have a close connection with this movie.
Yeah. I have thought about not telling you guys, just being like, oh, this is another dud movie, and just obviously Tommy wouldn't have any awareness, but I wanted to. I thought about doing that, and then just seeing if you would have had the thought, like, is that Chloe, or you would have been like, no, that, like, not even considered it, because like that'd just be so random.
I think I don't know if I would have, but I would have been like, that person seems familiar to me. That's That's really. I did actually recognize somebody in this movie. Someone else.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but we can get to that.
Yeah, we'll get into it. Okay. So the movie in question for this week is Dreamer the Movie from 2004, directed by George A. Johnson, or George A. Johnson. It follows Kevin Russell, a young man who wants to make a movie, but this movie is unique because there's no violence in it, there's no drugs, but also it uses home video equipment. No movie in the history of movies has ever done that before. And also a novel concept. It implores metaphor and allegory, another thing that has never been done in movies prior to the movie that they are making in Dreamer the Movie. And that's more or less it. Because they just try to make a movie. They don't even finish the movie by the end of the movie. So
in fact, you don't even know what the movie is about.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
This movie has like the same ethos as Family Guy. Because, it seems today that all you see is violence in movies and sex on TV. But where are those good old-fashioned values?
Yeah. Okay, I think we might as well start with having Chloe talk about her part, and I guess how you got involved, because she's not a Christian. We're all expats of the church. All three of us on the show.
True, yeah.
I noticed Tommy has an Episcopalian children's group shirt on.
Yeah, college group. I visited one time, and they gave me this shirt, and I kept it for some reason.
Did you wear that on purpose for this episode?
No, I didn't. That's just what I wore.
Nice.
I'm not even an expat. I just never been.
Yeah. I don't think any. Yeah.
Yeah, TJ didn't warn us that this was a Christian movie.
Yeah.
I think I looked at it a little bit, and it screams Christian movie if you read literally anything about it, or look at anything else that this director's done, like all of his stuff on IMDb. It's okay.
Or you go to his website, christianfilmmaker.com. You see that at the end of the credits?
I didn't. No, I missed that.
I saw also in the credits a 50-month production time.
Is that true?
That's what it...
Yeah.
Wow. It was 15 or 50?
50.
Yeah,
50.
We started filming in the summer of 2002, and I don't know if he's including, like... I don't know how much prior to that he's including in that time frame, but filming in 2002, and then we did not premiere the movie until 2004, I want to say, like December of 2004.
I wonder if he is including like post-production in there too, because there's a decent amount of special effects, some of which are bad to interesting to kind of okay-ish a little bit.
Okay.
I'm a big benefit of the doubt guy, and I try to give it the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes, like, okay, it's a big boxy VHS camera making a movie. I get that. I've been there. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. David Lynch did Inland Empire. I'm not saying this is on par, but he used consumer grade cameras as an artistic thing.
He was probably inspired by Dreamer, because if you didn't hear it the 20 times they say it in the movie, no movie had ever used home video equipment before. Yeah. Because, like the Blair Witch Project didn't exist just a couple years prior to this.
Yeah. So, I guess, how did you come into contact with these guys, and how did it happen?
So, there's actually put an ad in the Reminder, which is our local paper. And,
nice.
there was an article, local guy has graduated from whatever the film writing or screenwriting school or something that he went to.
Compass Film Academy?
Something
because
like
that is
that.
a Christian academy.
I don't
Yeah.
know. He had gone out to California and taken a class, and he'd written his opus, and then come back and wanted to film it in his hometown area. So there was an article about him in the paper and what his project was, and then they said, hey, we're doing open auditions on this one Saturday in June in Lake Odessa, so please come out. And I was like, okay, I'll bite, because I'm very curious. And they had auditions at, I think it was called the Net Cafe. I'm not even sure that it's even. Do you know?
I tried to Google it.
No,
'cause
but
I,
it's in the.
Yeah,
It's in the
we
movie.
filmed some of it there, but
Yeah,
Oh.
was it like its own building, or was it screamed like canteen in the basement of a church?
no, it was its own like freestanding
Okay.
building. I want to say it was some sort of like cyber cafe when those were still a thing.
Oh, okay.
Like
but
internet
I believe,
cafes,
Yeah. So that's just it. There were a couple of friends of mine who were in the film came with me to audition, just sheer morbid curiosity more than anything else. Like, where none of us are actors. I'm still not an actor. Didn't ever think I would actually get a part. I was like, let's just go do this fun thing. And then I got phone calls saying, hey, you got a part. Show up on this day. I'm like, oh crap.
to be fair, I don't know if anybody in this movie is an actor.
That's true. But I would never even dare to call myself that. Like, I wasn't like, I've got talent, I'm gonna go be in a movie.
You're like, I'm gonna get an IMDb credit out of this.
But I didn't. I'm not on the IMDb.
I noticed that. I
I'm
noticed
in the
that.
credits, but I'm not on IMDb. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I think it's only like the main like it's
Yeah.
the lead guy and then like his
Yeah.
immediate family pretty much who
Yeah.
have the credits.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, Tyler gave a whirlwind performance of accents that kind of
The older
switched-
brother, right?
Yeah. Switched
So
between like
weird.
Southern to like British near the end. There were like
Yeah.
a few enunciations, and I was like,
I mean, you talk to like people like my dad who live in Berry County, and they do like to just like throw in Southernisms every now and then because we like
Yeah.
to think that Michigan is in the South for some reason.
yeah, yeah.
But 4 kids and a camcorder. Done shooting Hollywood movies like they was big-time Hollywood folk.
Look, Tyler, we were extremely careful with Grandpa's camcorder. We didn't even put a scratch on it.
I don't even care about Grandpa's camcorder. For all I care, you can send that evil thing back to the land it came from.
Yeah, and the person that plays Tyler doesn't sound anything like that in real
Yeah.
life.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I know him still to this day, and he lives here in Hastings, and it's
Oh, okay.
completely different.
Oh, really? That's kind of cool.
Was most of it filmed in Laco or?
Yeah, Lake Odessa, Woodland,
Okay.
Saugatuck. Most of everything that you see
The
was filmed.
beach
Yeah.
was Saugatuck, yeah.
Okay.
So one thing that's really great about filming in Lake Odessa is you're next to the woods.
Yes.
That was a really weird line.
Yeah.
A really weird thing to say when you're on the news being interviewed about your movie. Oh, one thing about being here is that we're close to the woods.
Yeah, in Michigan.
Yeah, like that's hard to come by in the state of Michigan. Forest.
Well, George didn't live here. His wife is from here. I think George is from Ohio or something like that.
Oh,
So
okay.
he and his wife would travel up here every weekend to do the filming.
Oh,
okay,
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
dang.
I saw in the credits it was like Michigan, and then like Fort Wayne,
Yeah,
Indiana.
maybe that's it. Indiana.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. I wonder. Yeah, they might have like filmed some stuff there.
Okay.
Yeah, the opening. This movie was very bizarre.
Mhm.
There's a lot of bizarre stuff that and like the introduction of like the family at the very beginning.
Yeah,
My
it's
first
really
note was
weird.
that the grandpa did the Bud Dwyer pose. you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Well, this is gonna be sadder than it is funny if you don't get the reference, because Bud Dwyer is a guy who was basically being indicted for fraud and killed himself on TV. He like handed out manila envelopes to everyone, and then the last one he pulled out a gun and then was like, "If you do," but he did one of the, and like the way the grandpa froze at the very beginning, It was like the exact position that Bud Dwyer was in before he blew his and it was like a snow day in that town too, so all the kids were home watching TV. it's pretty rough.
Oh my god.
But anyway, that's the first thing I thought of, so that was a great start for me.
I didn't think of Bud Dwyer, but I did think the whole, like, the freeze frames and, like, this is my mom. It felt like a manifesto
of these people are
or
dead.
something. Yeah. Like, it felt very, like, dark, but it's just like, oh no,
Everyone
he's just
was murder-suicided immediately after this footage was taken.
he's just talking about his family. It's just very creepy. I don't know. I'll steal this from Kalia. So you get the intro of the family and their kids, and then I think there's a little title sequence. Yeah, and then it cuts to in the woods, and it's them shooting a movie, and it's on this like the low rent like video quality camera, and then it snaps when the guy's like oh come on, this is dumb, and then it snaps to like reality. And it does that like sweeping pan around Kevin, and Clea was like, "Whoa, so much better."
Not you can tell where their movie ends and the real one begins.
Yeah.
I did have a genuine laugh at like that little opening sequence when he's like the guy's about to like run up on the other two. And he's like a bigger guy, and he hides behind a tiny tree.
Oh,
and he looks around. I was like, okay, that's kind of funny.
So it's been a while since I've seen this whole thing, but is that the scene where everybody's like in camouflage in the woods with?
No, I think you're thinking of one later.
Okay.
This one, it's only a couple people.
Gotcha.
It's like a girl, two guys, and then Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
So yeah, the teacher, I recognized him.
Oh yeah, Terry. Yeah.
Well, when I worked at Family Fair, he came through he was like one of those guys that because he's a very recognizable person.
Yeah.
Like his like stature and his glasses and his hair and like his kind of colorful outfits. Mm-hmm. As soon as I saw him on the screen, I was like, oh shit, that's the guy. I mean, I knew him as like the guy that I saw at Family Fair all the time.
Okay, yeah.
But then I looked him up, and he has like a huge collection of like movie memorabilia stuff. He seems like a really cool dude.
Yeah, he is. He's
very nice.
He is. Yeah, he's really nice. Yeah, he does the Thorn Apple Players stuff, and he like owns the performing hall or something, or like his family does or something.
His mom, I think, donated the money to purchase it. Something like that.
Okay.
So the family name's on there.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's done like displays at the library of his like Hollywood memorabilia. He has a lot of like old dresses from old movies and stuff, which is pretty cool. Yeah.
Hollywoodville.
Yeah. What that
that got a laugh out of me. I thought that was clever.
That got an eye roll because the whole time I was like, I kept saying to Clay, I was like, where is this film? I was like, why are they called like Woodville? I'm like, is it supposed to be Woodland or, and I was like, why don't they just call it Woodland? Like, if I shot a movie in Hastings, I would want to, I like, represent my hometown or whatever. But then they get to that line where they're like, oh, did you turn it to Hollywoodville? And I was like, that's why they called it that. That's the reason they called it that.
Put that joke in there.
You could, Hollywood Lawn would still work.
Hollywood, yeah.
But Hollywoodville, I guess, is
Yeah, I don't know.
Clever if you want to call it that.
This movie, like, it's anti clever. It's anti like nuance everything because of how much they reiterate, like, if you have violence in your movie, you're a sellout. It's not good. You can't have any substance if people die in your movies. And yet, like, even in the beginning, before he has his moment where he like gets on the local news and he's like a big shot and he's like, oh yeah, we're gonna have people kill each other and I'm gonna cuck this dude on the beach or whatever. Like,
yeah.
But like even before that, they're like running around with guns, and then somebody points that out. They're like, well, what are you talking about? Like, you have guns in your movie. And he's like, yeah, well, we don't do anything with them. In my movie, they're basically just props. which makes it seem like the character thinks that like people actually murder each other in Hollywood movies or something. Like, yeah, they're props in real movies too. Like, what are you talking about? Like, yeah, people are actually killing each other. They're actually doing coke in movies, and
he saw that one old-timey movie where the train came too close to the screen.
Yeah, the Great Train Robbery.
Yeah. He ran out of the theater because he thought he was going to get run over.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, shit. Movies are scary. So there's a few, I don't know what you'd call them, like dream sequences.
Yeah.
Dreamer sequences, I think.
Dreamer sequences.
The Dreamer. No, Dreamer the movie sequences.
Dreamer the movie sequences. I mean, I gotta say, I was sitting at my my data entry job today, and I was like, man, sometimes it feels like there's a rope attached to my wrist, and I can't fax.
Break the thread or whatever.
Yeah. But
break the thread.
Pull the string, the Bela Lugosi.
Oh yeah.
Pull the string.
But I thought, here's Nick's benefit of the doubt corner. I thought the janitor sequence was okay.
The one where he was like, "This is the cure for cancer."
That I was like, how would he even recognize what the cure for cancer is? What
it says
possibly
at the top?
Yeah, but it's in like the big block letters, and the R is backwards. But I thought the lighting in that scene was interesting. I thought like it was. I mean, he was going for something surreal and weird and almost like borderline horror. And I thought with the janitor scene, it was kind of like that. The cure for cancer bit was very silly. But I think aesthetically and visually, I didn't think it looked that bad. And that's about as high praise as I can give.
I think Nick is trying to get in on George Johnson's next movie. So he's being, he's being
I'm going to be in Homeless for the Holidays 3.
This is the cure for cancer. You found a cure for cancer. What are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. You should be a doctor. Why aren't you a doctor?
You can't be a doctor. You're too stupid.
I also thought that actor actually did probably the best performance in the whole movie in that scene too.
The janitor, yeah.
He looked like a bootleg, like Hills Have Eyes, like the huge bald guy.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Or he kind of looks like the dude Scott Adams, like the Dilbert guy. You're too stupid. Sorry, I got the movie pulled up over here.
Still on the violence train, I guess, whatever.
Yeah.
That, like, you know, they're hammering all these talking points in that, you know, violence is bad, drugs are bad, you know, turn to God, all this stuff, and yet there's this like simmering like feud tension between him and his older brother who doesn't want him to make the movie. And how do they solve their differences? How do they reconcile? By using violence.
6 inches.
Yeah. No limits.
As soon as he said 6 inches, boy, I was like, pause. Where's this going?
24 inches. No limits.
It's very
Surprise.
weird.
Because they leading up to it, they were like, when was the last time we had a challenge?
Yeah.
And it's like, I wasn't expecting that when they said challenge.
Yeah.
It's a very strange challenge to me.
Like it literally solves like the biggest single issue with another person by giving them a black eye. But, you know,
That's what gets him to come
violence
around.
is bad.
But oh shit! That solved.
I mean, he probably wanted people to see the movie. and that's why.
Oh,
he put violence in it.
that was George. Yeah,
There's
George
some
himself.
violence.
Yeah, it got really meta when George actually got on the local news himself, and he's like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that was another note. The intoxicating power of being featured on local news. There's like the part where I feel like he even like styled his hair like up a little bit, where I'm like, oh, you were on like local news, and suddenly he's like, guys, we did it, we're famous.
And he's like lounging on his couch with a bottle of water, like.
Yeah, Mr. Hollywood hair.
Yeah.
I enjoy the line. It was like, Hollywood is the divorce capital of the world.
Yeah. That.
It's like, I didn't. What an interesting statistic.
That's when I was sure this was a Christian movie.
That was the moment.
I had my suspicions when he said this movie is about God.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure yet until she said that Hollywood is the divorce capital of the world.
I would say that, like, how do you make it that far in the movie without, like, realizing? But on the other hand, so much of this movie, like, feels like satire, feels tongue-in-cheek. Like, for instance, the older brother character going, like, being the only character with a, like, Georgian accent, calling his little brother boy. Like, it feels like a joke character that, like, I don't know, Danny McBride would play in like a comedy movie, you know?
Oh yeah.
But it's not. He's played straight. And like there's so many moments, there's so many characters like that are played straight but feel like the director's like, haha, this is silly, right? Yeah. And like I don't think the movie is I think there's intended comedy. It's not like this is supposed to be a 100% intentional drama, but what was that?
Maybe it's like he's trying to get like, I don't know if it would be like implicit comedy where it's like he's not saying anything funny, but the nature of the character is supposed to make you think that it's funny even though it's really not. I did laugh at like the part where they were kind of like, he was trying to explain to him, he's like, no, I'm not making a Hollywood movie, you know, with guns and violence. It's like guys that go to the skate park and they make a skateboarder movie. And he's kind of emphatically trying to make his point to his brother, and then he like pauses almost as if like he's contemplating and like thinking about it, and he's like, yeah, skateboard movies are evil too. And I was I laughed. I thought that was pretty funny. That was like good comedic timing.
At least he's consistent. Character consistency. Yeah,
I'm curious, what was the director like? Because you see him very briefly. Like,
was he a better director than Kevin in the movie, who's just like, okay, guys, go over there and run at the camera?
Yeah, I guess what were like the vibes on set as much as you can remember?
Oh, you can't?
No.
Oh. He asked. She can't hear you, I guess. He asked what the director, like what George was like as a director.
Very laid back. I think is that why I can't hear anything?
Here's why we can't hear you.
Did the cat just?
Yeah. Okay, so we gotta go. I'll turn the speakers down, but we gotta go just speakers. So we're gonna have to. I guess we'll have to deal with it. The cat just chewed through my head.
Oh my god! In real time.
That's hilarious.
It must have happened like right when you asked that question.
That's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, just
okay,
like yeah.
So
I guess
rewind.
Yeah. Like, what was the? Yeah, he said he was like laid back, but it's like, yeah, he's in the movie once, near the end.
Yeah, at the end where he's he's the guy counting the money at the end.
Yeah. But
he took what he was doing very seriously. Like, we shot most weekends in June, July, and August, and it was, I mean, skeleton crew was him and his wife, and then Micah and Sarah Steed who showed up, and that was pretty much it. So everybody did a little bit of everything. You know, people would the other adults, the people who were older than most of us in the movie at the time, you know, had a lot of input. Like, well, what if we did it this way? But he was very laid back. We prayed before we started filming every time.
Oh my god.
So that always made me feel really awkward because I think they could tell that I was just sort of like, okay, we're doing this again.
Well, you had a nose ring. And
I did.
was-
I did, and I think a visible tattoo in there also. And I was like, oh no, this will surely get me out of the movie, and it did not.
You just come back every day with like an additional nose ring and like the eyebrow piercing.
I'm actually up to 4 now, so yeah, that's what happens.
Why won't you guys send me home?
A pentagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did just bring a loaded gun to set every day too.
Pretty sure I showed up hungover a couple of times.
Ooh.
I was definitely over 21 at the time, so it was...
Yeah, of course. Did you guys shoot on Sundays?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes, yeah. And but it was always like later in the day. You know, we didn't have to show up on set at 8. It was come after church is done, so we're going to meet up at noon today.
Okay, but
So
still,
it was like, yeah.
day of rest.
Yes.
Is that a sin? What do we think? Does this count as labor?
You're doing the Lord's
Were you
work,
compensated? Were you paid?
so
I suppose
so
you're
it
doing the
counts.
Lord's work. Yeah. There's the loophole.
Because you're making Dream of a movie.
Yeah. It's the one movie that gets exempt from God's wrath on Sundays.
Did you have more lines, or what was cut? Was anything cut?
Oh
You
yeah,
can
that's a
remember?
good question.
Yes, there was a lot cut. I initially wasn't even cast to have lines, but I think the
Okay.
person that they had in mind ended up with a conflict. So I was given a part. The person's name was Sheila. My character's name was Sheila. But once they met me, they were like, Chloe sounds kind of like fake and movie enough. We're just going to keep that. So they kept my name.
Oh, you got one of them Hollywood names.
Yeah. That's fancy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I did end up with more lines, but it was sort of the only parts of the movie that I saw until it came out were the scenes that I was there shooting. So, like, I really didn't know, like, I didn't have a script to go through and even sort of understand the entire plot of the movie. Like, it was just show up this day, here's what we're doing, and then I'm going, well, this is going to be fun, because how does this tie with what we were doing last week? I had no idea.
I don't know if a script would have helped understand the plot of the movie.
Yeah.
No, because it's been 20 years and I still don't understand the plot of the movie. No.
The scene when he gets punched out and everyone's like trying to get him to get up.
Yeah.
I feel like you look like you were about to break. You like, I feel like when you're like get up, I could see like the crack in your
twitch.
like lip.
Yeah.
Like you were like trying real hard not to just like laugh.
Yeah, that's...
Because it was like slowed down. It was like get up.
Yeah, well, I mean, they had we must have done that particular take like 10 or 15 times, like
damn.
that scene panning in front of all of
Oh.
us, and you know, he was like 3 inches from our face with the camera.
Oh.
All right, now yell at me. You know? And then you felt bad because he was such a nice guy.
Oh. That I will say that was like a joke that kind of worked for me as them doing the don't or like get up, and then it cuts to like the normal and they're saying
Like
don't
reality.
get up, don't get up. I
No,
was like,
don't
okay,
get up.
Okay, all right, yeah, that's a good joke, yeah. They do a shitload of like record scratches in this movie too. A lot of like, wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's
it
even
seemed-
another one with you where he like explains the plot of the movie.
For those that pay close attention, there are deeper stories and hidden meanings.
I don't get it.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
That particular scene is my best work. I just want
Yeah.
you all to know that.
Probably agree, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
yeah. Also, did you guys notice that she like as they're walking out to the duel, she like digitizes. She like.
I did catch that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was just YouTube being weird, but that must be.
Nope, it's on the DVD version, too. So.
Wow. That's because you aren't a Christian.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah.
Yep.
All the demonic energy.
By the end of the movie, you don't see me because I have actually just literally disappeared.
Yeah.
Still there.
Well, yeah, because I feel like you're gone for like a good 20-30 minutes, and then you're back.
Yeah.
And
there was never really even any explaining like my particular character within the story. I'm just there sometimes, but I'm like the only kind of other friend who's constantly there.
Yeah.
But also you don't know why.
Yeah.
Like, where did she come from?
Like, you don't have any... I don't think... You don't really have any one-on-one scenes with Kevin, but, like, every other member of the friend group does. So, yeah. It is... just, like, the extra one. Like, they needed another body or something like that. But, yeah. Did the Sheila character... Did she have more, but then when they kind of, like... combined that with yours, that kind of got reduced, or
no? I mean, there was just a lot of the lines that they had us do were sort of like, and maybe this is normal for movies. I've never been in another one. I don't know, but you know, we had like generally this is what we need you to say. So, you know, let's work on it.
Okay.
I feel like some directors are precious with their dialogue, where they're like, no, you need to say this exactly how it's on the page, and you're kind of like, I don't know, Judd Apatow's and Danny McBride's kind of leave more room for improvisation and like, oh yeah, I know, if this sounds better, like, say that. But this seems kind of like neither of those things. Where it's just like, yeah, just say something kind of like that.
Yeah, or there was one scene where we're all sitting in front of the couch, and I think we all have like a line or two, and they had, if I remember correctly, they had like different things written on like poster boards, almost like cue cards that they would, except they were, it was literally just poster board.
Yeah.
It's not even a cue card. You know, like, here, say this one, and kind of ran through different responses, I guess. Different versions.
Okay. Yeah.
For the reactions.
Interesting.
So, I decided, very early on, I noticed that Kevin did a bad thing, so I kept a sin counter for Kevin.
Yes.
All right.
Some of these are to varying levels of, you know, godliness, I guess.
Okay.
But first and foremost, and very critical, he steals his grandpa's camera. Yeah, his grandpa gives him, you know, gives him permission later on, but he steals his grandpa's camera a couple times before he does. So that's pretty big. Theft. That's a commandment.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Wait. Thou shalt not covet thy grandpa's
camera. Video camera. Yeah. Waste paper. That's less of a godly one, but just a personal gripe. He wastes a lot of paper.
Are you talking about the montage where he's
like
writing
throwing them in the thing? But you could also say that he's wasting paper by printing his script onto paper because it's garbage.
Well, because I noticed that in that montage, whenever he was like, he never actually typed anything. Like the first montage of him throwing away things, he doesn't actually type anything. He's just throwing away all these blank pieces of paper.
That's awesome.
No, we'll fix it in post.
He insults his brother, like he name calls. Nearly forced adultery / cuckoldry.
Yeah, true.
He stalks his way to get backstage at the concert. Like,
that was kind of rough.
Lies his way, and he lies to the security guards about like his contact with Gina. There might be some more, but I mean, I think that's enough for eternal damnation. So he better hope his movie's really good, or God is going to, you know, send him to hell.
Yeah. He basically threw a cross into a bag of flour or whatever was going on in that one scene.
Yeah. I guess
the orbs,
that's
the weird orbs.
Okay, the orbs are one thing, but I'm a fan. Are you talking about like the orb that was like in every dream sequence?
Yeah.
There was what did they?
There
What
was
what
one
was in that
orb.
bag? They're like the two guys. They're like standing in line.
The one's like,
and they're the guys.
Yeah.
And it looked like he had, it's like you put the cross in one, but then it looked like they were like orange, reddish orbs. I couldn't tell what those were.
I don't remember. I just remember the guy had the box, and then it was like a pit. It looked like you're like looking down into hell. Like that's what I figured. Something
that was my
along
take.
those lines.
Okay, yeah, I have this. Yeah, it looks like the back of like a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Yeah, it does.
It does kind of, yeah.
And then he just gets the shit kicked out of him by a couple guys in robes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like Dementors.
Again.
Yep, that's what I said too. Again,
like,
what?
It's not. It's bad. But it's like it's a little bit different than just like a shitty home movie where they shot it in like someone's basement. Like it looks like an actual location. Like there was like effects done.
Sure.
It's not great.
Yeah.
But
it's like
it is like half a rung higher than like Avengers
for like
or
like
Ungrateful
no
Dead,
budget.
like ours. Yeah.
For like super low budget, no budget. We got like an hour 20 in, and I have the firefighter scene makes me so mad.
Okay, what about
with his brother? Because his brother is in the firefighter outfit, and there's a baby in there, and you have to go save the baby. So he runs in, and we see his acting of heroism, like saving this baby. But that's the movie. That's not Kevin making the movie. So when he runs back out with a baby, Kevin is still standing in the yard with the
I see what
camera.
you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like from Kevin's perspective, from the movie's perspective, his brother ran in, nothing happened, and then he runs back out with a baby.
Yeah.
So like how does Kevin know any of it looked good? Because he didn't go in there and film anything. Everything that we saw was like George A. Johnson's film, but it wasn't. It's not going to end up in Kevin's final product whatsoever. So he literally could have just gone in. Someone could have handed him the baby, and he could have came back out, and it would have been the exact same effect. And he's like, "Hell yeah, dude, that looked awesome. That looked so good." It's like, how do you know?
You ran out with that baby.
You didn't go
so
in there
confidently.
with him.
That's Tyler. He's like, okay, he had this all in one instance where he decided he wants to be an actor, and he's like going full method. So he made them. He's like, no, you set that house on fire and you put a baby in there, or I'm not doing the fucking scene.
He did almost pass out during that filming of that scene.
Really?
Yeah, it was like that was like a 90-degree day in the middle of July.
Oh yeah.
He was in like that full gear in 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon running that scene over and over and over. Like we're all very concerned that he was actually gonna like keel over.
Damn. Also, they pulled an Ungrateful Dead. The filming in the truck bed.
Yeah, that's right. I thought of that too. Yeah. There's photos of me doing like basically the exact same thing that he was doing when I just didn't get flung out and have a
near-death
and
experience.
Wake up in the woods and get chased by a bunch of people or something. Yeah.
You didn't see Gandalf the sleep paralysis demon?
No.
situations.
Yeah, that ending, like, of that dream sequence where he's like, oh, you know, you've overcome all these trials and now you're a better person and whatever. And then everybody's, like, smiling at him, and it's supposed to be, like, uplifting, but, like, it's very fucking creepy. And knowing that it's, like, it's a Christian movie, it comes off as, like, this is genuine cult behavior. And, like, it's really weird.
Yeah, just people coming out of the woods and staring at you.
Yeah.
It's freaky.
Yeah, it's bizarre. So you say you never got a full screen. Did you ever get, either through George directly or otherwise, like, any insight into meaning, purpose behind anything? Nothing?
Nope, nothing. Nope, I showed up, we had the movie premiere in Ionia at the theater there. And, you know, we showed up 2 years after we were filming, and we watched it, and we're like, what?
Okay.
Like, the first time, you know, I sat with my friends, and the first time we saw the orbs, we were just like, what? Where did they? We didn't know this was in there.
That's awesome.
We had no idea.
Shooting like the whole movie and not being aware of
Yeah,
the orbs.
I mean, we knew there were dream sequences, but it's not like they didn't talk about it, you know?
That's awesome.
Wild.
Yeah, that's
Wild.
Yeah, there was I watched some of the, well, there's only a couple, but I watched the, like, there's, like, behind the scenes interviews and then a blooper reel, and then they have some trailers on the DVD. And one of the quotes on the trailer, you know, like, that you'd put, like, from, you know, the New York Times calls it the best movie of the year type thing. But there's one that's a quote from, like, Cheryl Reed, manager of Ionia State Theater, and it says, like, better than a lot of the other movies we show at my theater. That's the quote they have in the trailer. And there's a lot of people, like they did the thing where they interview people, like, just outside the movie, and, like, oh, what'd you think of it? And everybody's like, oh, it's the best movie ever, da da da. And people be like, my favorite part was when they say Hollywood's the divorce capital of the world.
No way.
Of course it is. Yeah, it's I mean, it's kind of what you'd expect, I guess, with the crowd, but
yeah, but I'm just picturing, like, you know, parents and old ladies from, like, the church going to see it, and it's like, yes, it is like a Christian movie, but it's really weird, it's really strange and, like, off the beaten path.
Yeah,
I feel, because, like, most Christian movies have, like, you know, they still follow that kind of, like, Hollywood hero's journey, like, structure, and this is, like, the pacing and, like, what's the, like, there's, like, rising action, what's, like, the peak of the movie, and then there isn't really anything that I guess happens. So I feel like this would be hard for, like, old church ladies to be like, yeah, I know what's going on, like, because, like, in your normal Christian movies, it's like guy and a girl, they get together, and then they have a disagreement, but then they come back together in the end, and everyone quotes scripture at each other, and it's like there wasn't really any, like, the scripture in it either. There wasn't any, like, because usually in those like kind of Christian movies, characters they'll meet someone,
recite,
like, you know,
verses.
could have been the grandpa character. I'm very surprised the grandpa character didn't be like, well, you know, in the book of Mark, and, like, any of that kind of shit. None of it.
Yeah,
so it's like, I feel like
they didn't even have a Bible study scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It was just like, I'll make a movie and then I'll understand the Bible. That I'm spending all this time writing, and yet is so, like, malleable that it changes with every scene and every different emotion I feel. Like, if I'm feeling happy one day, I'm gonna rewrite a scene, or if I'm feeling a little cocksure, I'm gonna add guns into it or something. And, but, you know, this is like a spiritual, like, awakening for me writing this movie that has no consistency.
Well, at one point, we're promised a movie about a superhero who's blind.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And that That's Daredevil, right?
Yeah, that's basically Daredevil.
There's some copyright infringements on that.
Yeah.
They can't call him that. It's got devil in the name.
Oh, yeah, you're right. God damn. Oh, wait, shit. I can't say that. Fuck.
So were you the only, like, non-religious person there, or were there other people?
No, there were, like,
I guess?
2 of us.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the friend that I went to audition with. And myself, pretty much. And,
Well, and Kalia.
Oh, Kalia, yeah, my sister, my dad is like an extra in the concert scene. My ex-husband is in several scenes, and he,
Yeah.
But of those that showed up week after week, yes, or just or 2.
I thought the scene, because like last week TJ pointed out the scene with Kalia in it, and I laughed because you see her all of like 5 seconds before Kevin stands directly in front.
She gets completely Mike Wazowski out of this movie.
Oh, there's Kalia.
It's almost It's almost comical because Kalia's standing right next to her ex-husband, and like you see both of them, like, oh, it's Brian and Kalia. Oh, and then whoop stands right in front of, like, just Kalia is blocked by him for the rest of that scene. You see her at the end again, but when he sins by going backstage, but
oh my god, we had to listen to that song so many times. That scene took forever.
Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense because as soon as that song started playing, Kalia was singing it like like she knew all the lyrics, and I was like, that's weird, but that makes sense.
No, she's secretly a really big fan of this movie.
Of Gina Eastman, yeah,
who is now Alexa James.
Alexa James. Yeah, Kalia, or you said that
Kalia.
She thinks that Gina Eastman like changed her name, and she was like, I don't know if it was because of her, like she didn't want to be associated with this movie or whatever.
It sounds alarmingly like Sheena Easton, who wrote Sugar Walls in the 80s.
I wonder if that's what I was thinking of. I was like, do I know Gina Eastman? But I was like, there's no fucking way. I wonder if I was just thinking of Sheena Eastman.
Yeah. I laughed pretty hard at like the dude guitar player wearing the Dare shirt.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Extremely 2002.
Yes.
There were so many like Christian records like
I saw this
mounted on the walls, and I was trying to like I saw some I saw an Audio Adrenaline poster, I saw Newsboys, I saw a DC Talk poster with all the boys on it, Switchfoot, Truth, I saw VeggieTales in the cafe.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I did recognize one of the locations. The arcade scene was at Good Time Pizza.
Oh, is it really?
Yep, and the scene in the park where they're on the playground, that's the park that's right next to Good Time Pizza.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, we used to go to, back in the day, when I was doing high school theater, we went to Good Time Pizza after a couple, like, I don't know if it was like dress rehearsals or what, but we would go there a few times.
Okay.
Did we go there?
I don't know if I ever did after.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I don't know.
We got to do a bonus duds episode for a Mr. Willard movie that I was in around the same time, actually, like 2005. I was in one of.
Do you mean
one
Todd?
of these movies.
Todd Willard?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah. Which I feel like he's a local guy from where we're from, but he was like the theater director for a while.
For the high school,
I think local guy just explains him pretty well.
Yeah.
He's this local guy.
He's a guy. He's local.
Yeah.
I do have a DVD of it. I'll upload it and maybe we can watch it sometime.
That'd be sweet.
I have like
love to watch
long hair.
Yeah, I think George really actually thought he was doing something really special. Like that was the feeling that I just got from him as a person. Like this is so different.
Usually the case.
This is going to be so different. It was very sincere, and I think probably somewhat autobiographical. And did it come across that way to you at all? Because like I
definitely think so.
I think he's just like I was the kid with the movie camera.
I mean,
Yeah.
the whole, like, I mean, he's a Christian filmmaker. It's about a Christian filmmaker making a movie with it. Like, the whole story is very meta, you know. It almost feels like every time he says, like, oh, we're shooting it with home video equipment, so that makes it unique. That's like George defending him literally using that to shoot the actual movie Dreamer.
Yeah. I have a shitty camera, so I'm gonna make a movie about how cool it is to film a movie with a shitty camera.
Oh, he did have a Steadicam attachment for it, though.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. Well, he did
put a little bit of money into it, but maybe he didn't use it very much.
He should have used it more. As I was gonna be there is multiple
a
scenes
shitload
where
of
he
credits.
like zooms in and you see it like it was just like hand camera stuff.
Yeah, that's weird that you say that it was like a skeleton crew, because I feel like the credits were huge.
Yeah,
I guess a lot of them were extras,
and there was a lot of repeats.
That's too. It. The credits. They just listed every single person that volunteered.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is why Kalia's name is in there, and she's in like 4 seconds of the film. Like they
that's
just
true.
Right.
Put everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody in that crowd scene. Their names in that sequence.
Okay.
Wow.
Right, and I'm sure for them it was like, oh, my name's in a movie. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, Kalia
That's how
definitely
I
thinks
felt
it's very
in-
cool that she's associated with this movie.
Oh yeah. I was about to say that's how I felt in 7th grade when my Spanish class made a little music video about the subjunctive mood in Spanish, and then we posted it to TeacherTube, and my name was on it.
Nice.
Oh, that's it.
We're not
that's
interested in
real.
your dumb local made videos, Moose. Just keep them to yourself.
I mean, I
Sorry,
thought it
what was that
pretty...
video called, Moose? The conjunction?
No, it's subjunctive.
Subjunctive.
Alright.
It was to the tune of Fireflies by Owl City. But it was all about how to use the subjunctive mood in Spanish.
Can you give us a little sample?
I don't fucking remember it.
Okay. Fair enough.
At one point, I choreographed one part of it.
Oh.
There was a lot of spinning and clapping.
I found it.
Sweet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm proud of it. I was like...
Are you in it?
You sent the picture of me in the back of the car.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm in it in a few places, and also I was like the director or something. I don't know exactly what word we came up with for my role, but I was like in charge.
Everybody
Oh, wow.
TeacherTube.
Yeah.
You're a regular George A. Johnson then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was another bit in one of the behind the scenes interviews with Karen Johnson, George's wife, and she's talking about like the positions she had. She was like set designer, extras director, basically like a first AD. But then she was like, but my favorite job on set was taking care of my husband, making sure he had water, and I was like, ugh.
But that's exactly what she did.
Oh yeah.
It was.
I mean, it's very like Christian housewife like morals or.
Wow,
or
honey,
what
you're
have
really
you.
executing your vision.
I mean, she was like 8 months pregnant that summer too.
Oh, was she really? Oh, dang.
Whoa.
Yeah, it did say that in the credits too, that it was like she was pregnant with like their third child
Damn.
during the 50-month production.
It said that. It said that in the credits.
I watched all of the credits.
Yeah, he does his
I
like
did too,
thank
but I
yous,
didn't catch that part.
And he thanks all the people, and he thanks Karen.
Okay, I watched it or we left the credits running, but I left the room for a minute, so I think I missed the special thanks. But I did hear it's like Final Fantasy VII-esque music that turns into that.
Yeah, I did watch all the credits just because I wanted to see if like I would recognize anyone else.
Anyone else's
like,
names?
That I would, I saw a bunch of like Yonkers in there, and they're like, I think they're a pretty big family in the area, so
Yeah.
that's really about it.
What was the one that played? Was the little kid that played the young Kevin, was that one of George's kids? Do you know?
I don't remember.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Because it looked like could have been related, so maybe it was. I just didn't know that he had kids. So
I think they were his. I think his kids were like 2 and 3.
Okay, yeah, so maybe not.
Yeah.
I think that kid's a little bit older.
So Ben Johnson plays Kevin. How is Ben related to George?
It's George's younger brother.
Yeah.
Younger brother. Okay.
Do you guys want to get to our ratings, and then we'll maybe we'll splice in the Spanish subjunctive remix into the
Okay, sure.
We'll go. I'll go first as to set the tone, I guess. I definitely think this is a dud. I don't really think it's because of any sort of tie to it, because like even though it is shot basically right around the corner, it's not like I watched it, I'm like, oh cool, I know that place. But it's a trip. It's very bizarre. I love overwrought, over dramatic Christian like self martyrdom. Like making shit like one of my favorite scenes again is the cucking scene on the beach, because it's so over the top, like all the zoom ins on everyone because they're about to do a stage kiss, like it's like they're literally going to commit adultery like on the spot or something. And I love that stuff, like being so over dramatic about just like, you know, if you're looking at it from a normal point of view, it's just like, yeah, they're just gonna do a stage kiss. It's literally nothing.
They do that in normal Christian movies.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Like they don't exclusively cast people who are married to play married couples in Christian movies.
There's also violence and drugs. One of Christian's favorite fucking redemption stories is like, oh, I was a homeless crack addict, and then I found Jesus. So, very, very like surface level, no nuance, and I think it's great for it. Yeah, I think it's an absolute holy spud. These are very, very bright and shiny. I don't know, Wendy's fries with a sprinkling of holy water sea salt. I don't know.
Yeah, you got there.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah. Man, this is about, I would say, 70% spud for me.
Okay.
There were a good amount of moments that made me laugh. I think it was trippy and very strange. Like you said, like overwrought Christian movies, they're all so bizarre, and like if you're not part of that, I think you almost have like blinders on. Like I feel like my mom, no shade to my mom, but like, you know, she could watch like a Hallmark movie or like a Christian movie, and she'd be like, oh yeah, this is she wouldn't be able to tell that it would be like, this is normal, this is how movies work. But it's like, I watch this and it's just like, it's not even because it's a Christian movie, like the plot and the structure and like everything about it, it's so disjointed that it's hardly even really a story.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, but it was still ambitious, I guess. There was some things that were interesting. Interesting is like the nicest word I can use. Mainly like the dream sequences. It's like, huh. Like I think I like things that are like out of place in like normal Christian movies. Like there's that other one that I was talking about, the 33 Assassin AD, where like a Navy SEAL hit team invents time travel to go back and assassinate Jesus. And like there's a scene where he gets shot by like a dude in night vision goggles, and it's like, okay.
And this is a Christian movie, right?
Yes, it is.
That's
yes,
awesome.
It is. I was like, okay, all right, I'm Christian time travel. It's weird. You don't see it very often.
Yeah.
And with this one, you kind of get those weird, like, Lynchian dream sequences, and you're like, huh, this is kind of out of place for like a normal Christian movie. So I'll give it that. Is interesting. It was a spud though. It was a spud. It had some pretty genuine laughs and some very ironic laughs.
Yeah, this was no ordinary movie. This was a movie that had a hidden meaning in it, you know?
Mm-hmm. And
this
no
was
other
a
movies
movie-
have those.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And this movie was filmed on like regular film cameras, and like I'm fascinated by Christian media.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be a really hardcore Christian. Like so hardcore that I visited the Episcopal Student Center at my university just to see what it was like. And it was I've always been super into that stuff, and then as I kind of deconverted, I never lost interest in Christian stuff, like, but now I see it from a different point of view.
That's definitely how I am. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'll let you keep going, but yeah. I
get
what you're saying.
I'm glad that you get what I'm saying, because it was, and so for that reason, this is going to be a spud for me. I literally might watch it again. I keep bringing up like random Christian shit to my girlfriend, and she's like, "Tommy, stop doing that. Stop saying Christian stuff to me, and stop showing me all this Christian stuff. Stop thinking about Christianity all the time, Tommy."
But you're gonna take a note from the kid from Crazy Stupid Love's notebook and do it, even if she says no, right?
Yeah, maybe I should.
Well, hey, Homes
maybe
for the
I will.
Holidays is full on YouTube if you want to watch that.
Sweet.
I found it.
Oh my god. Yeah, I think Christianity is like a hobby for me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to transition into it being a thing that I used to be into, but we're not there yet. So this movie's a spud.
Nice.
I was just fascinated by the character. By the character of Kevin, and just how much I was like him as a kid, just like always following the rules, except for when I steal my grandpa's movie camera. It's like I feel like if I was as into making movies as you guys were at that time, I would have been exactly like Kevin.
Sweet. Awesome.
And so that's it. This movie took me to that place that I don't get to go to a lot anymore, which is, what the fuck is going on in this Christian movie?
Sweet.
Yeah, so spud.
My rating scale's totally different than yours.
Okay.
It's not. If I'm giving it spud or dud, I would say spud, because it just makes me laugh. It just makes me laugh now. It made me laugh during the filming. It made me laugh when I saw it all put together. And now, like 20 years later, it's just even worse.
Yeah.
It's even worse. Nobody that lives with me in my house right now has seen it. So it's two kids and my partner, and none of them have seen it.
Are you gonna change that?
Well, so we tried. My 15-year-old put it on a few weeks ago, and he lasted 2 minutes, and he was like, "Nope." Turned it off, left the room.
So he knew you were in it, though?
Yeah, I was like, I'm in it, your dad's in it, Aunt Kalia's in it, and he was like, "Don't fucking care. This is bye."
Because that would have been a fun experiment to put it on and then watch him be like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how, because I think like from the jump this is like it's immediately like gripping, like how just like, I mean, it's not just the Christian aspect for me, although that is like everything that Moose said. I do love consuming like Christian media from this new standpoint, to varying degrees, because there's some that I'll watch like stuff and be like, oh, like, you know, like, again, a movie that I oft reference as being a great Christian like story of Christ is The Last Temptation of Christ. I like that too, from like a storytelling standpoint. But so this, you get that, but also like it's got it's got terrible acting, like terrible sound design. Like every layer is pretty fascinating. I don't really think there's much of a dull moment in this movie. I think it's pretty fantastic.
Yeah. You just keep having to watch it because where is it going?
Yeah.
I mean, the opening sequence is like we kind of mentioned it, but the opening sequence is like a true crime documentary. Like you almost think you're watching like the first 48. The way it's like, this is my dad, and it freeze frames. It's like, whoa, it's jarring immediately.
Yeah. Kind of like those, kind of like Moose's microphone sounds. Yeah, do we want to watch a Spanish subjunctive and then we can get into post chat?
Right. Sure.
Yeah. I'll just share it so we can all watch, just so we have it at the same.
Smart.
On the same time.
I watched this silently. You'll have to point yourself out to me.
Okay.
Oh, well, we listened to like 3 seconds of the music, and it's gonna make it a lot better, Nick.
Okay.
Okay. You guys got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to make myself believe
It's just like Joji mumble rap.
It's hard to say that I know it.
This is not mine.
Wait, what? It's not? What?
That's not yours?
What?
How are there 2 of these?
Who are these people?
You're telling me that another school did the exact same topic to the tune of Fireflies?
That's... Holy shit. That's exactly what's happened. Yeah, this is not my school.
What?
And I don't know these people. And the person who's singing, this isn't like...
Holy shit.
Yeah, and the words are different too.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn.
That's insane.
That is crazy that we found another video that is essentially doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
With the same song.
Yeah, that's wild.
And the same, like, part of speech or whatever the fuck you call it.
Yeah.
Mine will be really quick because I think I've talked about it before. Or I brought it up on the show, but I finished the Netflix Castlevania animated series. And I gotta give Netflix props for, like, somehow they know how to write video game adaptation, like, shows. Because they made, like, League of Legends, which I have not really played ever. They made a great show out of that with Arcane. Cyberpunk, same deal. I don't like it as much, but it's pretty good. And then Castlevania is probably my favorite. They, like, you know, they even, like, Dracula's, like, a pretty, like, he's got depth. They give depth to Dracula in really cool ways. Really good, like, fan service. It's mostly the first 3 games in the series. But, yeah, really, like, really beautiful animation, too. And, like, extremely violent, too. But, like,
nice. Beautiful
animation at the same time. But, yeah, just a good, like, vampire hunting anime thing. It's just a good time. And I should preface that I do, as opposed to the other Netflix animated series, I do love Castlevania. It is one of my favorite video game series, but it's just it's really easy to get into because it's like you don't really have to know the games as long as you know, like, it's just common folklore tropes like Dracula, Grim Reaper, vampire hunter family, you know, that kind of stuff. But yeah, good stuff with, like, you know, character arcs, and, like, they change over the course of the series, and also it's short. It's only like 32 episodes, so yeah.
How long are they?
half hour. Like they're actually like 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So really short.
Okay.
Compared to a lot of stuff nowadays. But yeah, I just wanted to shout it out because it's really solid, and you know, there were good video game shows before The Last of Us. You know.
Yeah, like the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta do the Mario.
That's all.
Now
I
the
have to say
song's
about
playing in
that
my
one.
head. Let's do the Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched Howl's Moving Castle
For the first time?
this weekend.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
it was beautiful,
Nice.
and in many ways, I had a really good time. I loved it. I love that kind of like magical. Everything's weird, but that's okay because it's magic shit.
Yeah.
And like the world building of like, oh, there are these wizards and witches that just like exist, and everybody's okay with it. And then sometimes they're like called upon by the king to go to war. Like, that's a cool idea.
Yeah.
And that the main guy lives in a castle that just like moves. It just walks around for just like to. Is it like to run away from the Witch of the Waste? Is that the idea? Why he puts his
I think,
house on
or
stilts?
he's just I think it's also just like he's a recluse, so he just
Yeah.
I'm not sure because it moves like it literally walks around, but also it's moving as in like it's a dimensional portal to all these different like
that's
areas
true.
and stuff. Yeah.
You
Yeah,
watch
it
the
was,
subs or the dubs?
The dub.
Okay.
I watched the dub.
Dub's not bad.
Ghibli has really
Christian
good.
Bale.
Yeah.
As
Yeah, that's right.
as Howl.
Ghibli has really good dubs for their movies. Those are like top tier anime dubs. I would say.
There were. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think I always like the soundtracks to Studio Ghibli movies, but I think Merry-Go-Round of Life is probably like top 3.
It is a really
like,
good theme.
Themes of like.
Yeah. Princess
I've only
Mononoke is my
seen-
favorite score for
is it?
Okay.
Miyazaki. My favorite score for Miyazaki's is Mononoke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've only ever seen Spirited Away, Princess Mononoke, and now
Howl's Moving Castle.
Howl's Moving Castle.
Nice.
Yeah, those are the only ones. But I liked all 3 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were some things in this movie that you just kind of had to accept, like, oh, this is a part of the movie now, like, like, oh, surprise, I'm the prince from the neighboring kingdom, who was lost,
yeah,
and now I can go end the war, like, and then you cut to the Miss Solomon or whatever her name was, the king's main sorceress. And
yeah,
she's like,
yeah.
Oh well, I guess we should end the war now too. And it's just, I love that. It's the way that I see this movie is like a dream.
Yeah.
Because it makes about as much sense as a dream does, which is to say some. It makes some sense.
Much like Dreamer, the movie.
Much like Dreamer the movie, exactly. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
We're on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I loved it. It was
Nice.
really good.
I also have a particular fondness for that dub because it is one of Lauren Bacall's final film roles.
Oh,
She's one of my
yeah.
favorite actresses. She plays
Which,
the
old is she?
Wicked Witch of the Wastes.
Oh, okay.
But she's like an old Hollywood actress. She's in a lot of stuff with like Humphrey Bogart and
Oh, okay.
she was in a Sidney Lumet movie too that I like, Murder on the Orient Express.
Was Billy Crystal Calcifer?
Yep. Yeah, Billy Crystal.
Yeah.
Speaking of Mike Wazowski.
Yeah, that is a perfect Billy Crystal role.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instantly recognizable.
Yeah. Where does it rank against those? I mean,
So Where does it rank among other Billy Crystal movies? Or
No, sorry. I meant amongst the other Miyazaki's that, you know.
Howl's Moving Castle, When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah.
It's, I think I like it better than Spirited Away.
Oh.
Mainly because...
Oh.
mainly because Ichiro... Is that her name?
Chihiro.
Ooh, I was close. Is just so annoying as a person.
Yeah, that's a lot of people.
And it's hard to
about that.
Yeah, she's like the worst part about the movie.
Okay.
And she's also in it so much. But that's my only complaint about Spirited Away. And then Princess Mononoke, I should have like listened to the our Princess Mononoke episode before this, because I don't remember Princess Mononoke at all. There was a wolf, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll tell you this: you gave it a 10.
That's crazy to me.
Really?
that yeah, because I don't remember it at all.
Damn.
My memory for stuff just sucks. Apparently, I just don't remember this movie.
Well, it is an awesome movie.
Human-faced deer getting his head cut off.
Yeah, it's a lot more violent.
Coming back
than
to me
his
in
other stuff.
pieces.
Yeah.
There was a war, I think.
Yep.
Anyway,
it's like a big boar that poisons his arm.
So I'll have to watch Princess Mononoke again.
Yeah, you should. I mean, it is a great movie.
Yeah. I thought so, apparently. So I should trust myself on that. And then I can get back to you on which
Okay,
one.
yeah. Okay.
All right, I guess I can bring everyone down. Well, I just thought it was interesting because a couple episodes ago we talked about the book Blood Meridian finally being translated into, or adapted into a film.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cormac McCarthy died like a week ago.
Yeah.
Which kind of lit a fire under me to finish reading the book, which I did last night. And I think people like to say that factoid, like, oh man, it'd be really hard to translate into a movie. And I kind of repeated that factoid myself, kind of knowing a little bit about what happens in the book. And then I read the book, and now I understand why there are some things that would be very hard to translate into the movie. I've read it, T.J.'s read it. Have either of you read Blood Meridian?
No.
I also think it'd be tough to get the philosophical vibe of that movie. The language that is used to describe the landscape is so it's beautiful fire and brimstone style language, but just I want a King James version with everything the judge says in red text, the way that the Jesus Bibles are, where it's all of Jesus's words written in red. But I thought the book was fantastic, but it was holy shit, that's
the
really
comedic
bad.
timing on it right now is really good. I guess.
But yeah, anyway, book is good. That's all, I guess.
Okay, cool. All right, sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now we got a movie rec, and then we'll say goodbye. We're back to regularly scheduled movies. And the movie for next week is from 2018, directed by Yorgos Lanthimos. It's The Favorite.
Tight. I can finish that now. We started it a year ago.
Nice. It is for rent on YouTube, Google Play, Apple TV, Redbox, Vudu, a lot of stuff. Amazon Prime. So watch it at one of those if you don't want to be spoiled for The Favorite before next week's episode. Did I already say that? These episodes come out every Wednesday at 7 p.m. EST on YouTube and Twitch in video form, as well as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more in audio form. We also have social pages on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And with all that said, I like violence, so obviously I'm gonna make violent movies. My name is TJ, aka J Spot Jack Cheese, and with me as always.
As always, hold on. Oh my God, there actually is a quote section on IMDb.
Whoa.
Oh, okay. Well, it's just the cuck scene. That works though. As always, Hollywood's the divorce capital of the world. Don't have to tell you. I'm Nick, aka Dr. Funk on Twitch, and with me as always.
As always, I'm your guy holding a bag full of hell, going over and over again.
Like a Skeksis from the Dark Crystal. And
Tommy, aka Moose, and our special guest,
Cloe Oliver. Thanks for having me, guys.
There you go.
Yeah, of course.
Great.
Thanks for coming on. This is our first celebrity, firsthand interview. It was gonna be with Hollywood, but they passed up, so it goes to you. So that's cool. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for the insight, Chloe.